I don't know. I feel like a lot of anime manga producers are getting kind of lazy. You know, some of these animes coming out, like you got the one with basketball players, you got the one with volleyball players. And I'm like, I was like, man, you gotta, like they're lazy, but you gotta give them props for the way they over dramatize things, like, like anything, a slam dunk or a 3-pointer can look so crazy in an anime. And I was like, yeah, okay, he hit the three. That's cool. It's all right. Then like he'll jump down and pass it to another guy. Like, oh, he's so fast. Oh my goodness, I can't catch him. That's gonna be a 3-pointer. He can do whatever. He's like, okay, man, just get down there and defend. Do something, man, because you're talking. But then you gotta remember that all happened in the span of like 2.2 seconds. Like that thought process, watching him run and going into the air. That all happened within like 4 seconds. So it's just like I love animes, I do, but some of these upbeat ones are just way too hyped up and they just exaggerate. I think it's harder for these type of animes to do that nowadays because of animes like Dragon Ball, Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within, Gotcha Man, G-Force, these older ones that came up and they did the evolve. It like almost like we were saying, or how Jackie Chan first started out, the combat was slow, but when Yuen Po Wing got on the set and said, "No, we need to make this fat. We're gonna make this legit."
Yeah.
Like Dragon Ball changed the game for that. Then you had My Hero Academia, Naruto, and
well, some of them too, like you're saying, like the basketball one. It's like we're gonna take TV shows. It's like, okay, let's take a drama like Friday Night Lights or something like that, and let's just animatize or like do the anime-ness to it, where it's like every play is like broken down and it's like this hyped up thing, but it's just like
the snap
a
of a
teen
ball
drama.
is like the whole episode. Sorry, I hate to say it. I'm sorry to cut you off, but like the snap of the football is like half the episode. It's like, okay, would you just snap the ball and drop back? Like honestly, like come on. Yeah, what were you saying? I'm sorry. Like I remember how you said like the dramatization, like the drop back and stuff. It's like the snap of the ball and the drop back would have been a whole episode.
Oh yeah,
Like,
but then we have like even things like Death Note, and it's like just a more. I mean, it's not. I want to say it's almost like a more not realistic approach, but it's more like a teen drama, and then we add the anime elements on top of it. Whereas like you had Dragon Ball Z, you had like maybe like One Piece where it's all this fantasy element of it, but now we have these ones that are set in more like a real life, like oh we're out of high school, and then we'll add the anime on top of it. And so you have these
yeah,
ones that are just like it's a different setting. It's setting like the real world, and then the anime is on top of it, rather than just setting in like a fantasy world. If that makes sense.
it makes plenty of sense. Yeah, I get it. I think that that's all over the top, and I get it. But I just feel like some of the ideas that they started with, it's just like, sorry, it's like High School of the Dead or High School Dead or something, where they're in high school and it's a zombie apocalypse, and then you have these 15, 16-year-old girls like triple D breast, and I'm like, okay, I'm like, dude, like obviously you had a dream or you fell asleep on your couch and you came with the idea of this. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, that's just dumb. I'm like, bro, it's stuff like it's animes like this that make me appreciate Berserk and Devilman. Like, because granted, Devilman and Berserk both have extreme amounts of nudity and bizarre shit. But the plot overshadows that every time, you know?
Like there's a
Like, for
reason,
example,
or there's like a reason for it, not just it for fan service, right? Not just it for a creepy old man and it's ha ha ha. Like there's a reason why this nudity is in it, and it's the point is just kind of like to show how dark this anime is and how messed
yes,
up the world is. So like that reason it's justified rather than just an old man getting his rocks off.
yeah, it's literally that is word for word what it is. It's like there's a reason why she got her clothes ripped off and she got molested. There's a reason behind it, as opposed to, bro, I don't even know if it was High School of the Dead. It was some anime, but I blatantly remember Like the dude had a 50 cal, and first, I might be getting it wrong. I might be getting it wrong, but he had put a 50 cal sniper rifle or something. I don't know. It was a gun that had some recoil, and he had used the girl's boobs, her breast, for support to hold it together. And I was just like, and every time he would shoot it, it would you already know I'm going with this. I'm just like, okay, I that's not even logical. That makes no sense. Even for an anime, it's just like that is just blatant perversion and fan service put together. Like I know they're gonna like this. I'm like, that's stupid. Like I mean, it's just I don't know. I mean, like I said, like just these days, even Dragon Ball Super, I got a problem with it. I'm like, as much as I like things about it, there's just not a proper explanation as to what Dragon Ball. Now that I go back and look, is a prime example of when corporate interest or miscommunication happens. Like Super Saiyan 3, prime example right here. Super Saiyan 3 and Super Saiyan God were done in two different ways. Like if you actually go and look at pre-writes or pre-drawing, pre-sketches to be the word, of these other looks, literally Super Saiyan 3 was closer to Super Saiyan 2 and 1 as opposed to its finished product. But some of these other artists that the guy, I forgot his name, who made Dragon Ball, I forgot his name, who were working with him were like, well, we thought it looked better if you did this. And I'm like, but there's no explanation as to why his hair is longer than his body. I don't get it. Like with Super Saiyan 1, it stood up, but it was a kind of a basic setup. Super Saiyan 2, it stood up more, but we're going to add more with electricity. And from what I saw in this original, Super Saiyan 3 was just stood up more, and they gave him a little bit more of like a ape-like features. You know, like he had the big burly eyebrows with no hair on him. He had a leaner look. He was just bulkier, almost kind of like he was turning into an ape. You know, that's what it looked like. So I won't give Super Saiyan 4 any flack, except for I don't understand the red fur. I'm like, okay, I don't get it. Why is the, they're like, well, why do you have a problem with the red fur, man? I'm like, no, you're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying, why is the fur red? I was like, where did red, how do you jump from yellow to black and red? I don't get that. If they had just did like maybe yellow fur and hair, or just brown hair and brown fur or something, and made the red more of an accent to that color, I would have been fine with it. But it just doesn't. I'm like, I don't get it. What the hell is the point of Super Saiyan 4?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That things like that, you know.
Super Saiyan 3 just reminded me of Sonic the Hedgehog because it just looks so dumb, like spiky kind of, yeah.
And that end look that you're talking about, that's what they kind of bullied him into going with, because the actual drawing, it looked like that, but the hair wasn't long. It was just, it looked like Super Saiyan 2, but the hair was all pushed back. No hanging bangs, none of that. Just all up and all back. And it only went to like a certain length. It was like the same length of Super Saiyan 2. But he had the leaner, mean features, which I loved. I was like, why would you get rid of that? Oh, not to mention, if I'm correct, I think the tail grows back. So that would have made sense jumping into Super Saiyan 4. I'm like, again, there's just some things I'm like, I don't understand. I don't get. I'm like, why do we have the hair going in different colors? Like, it's fan service. And we confirmed that, and I confirmed that it was fan service. I didn't even want to believe it for the longest, but I confirmed it was fan service when they brought Dragon Ball back and did Super Saiyan God. I was like, so that's it. So that's the best you can do as far as Super Saiyan God. We're gonna make his hair red. No, we're gonna go one more. We're gonna say, what would happen if he was a Super Saiyan God training and he transformed to Super Saiyan? He did the Super Saiyan technique. We're gonna do Super Saiyan Blue. Oh, as they like to call it, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. I'm like, all y'all had to do was go back to formula on this one and just you didn't have to change the looks if you just change the names and the reasons behind it, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. If you ask me, I would have made Super Saiyan 4 canon because now it's not canon anymore. I would have retconned Super Saiyan 4 into the Super Saiyan God form. That's what I would have done. I would have said, we're going to bring Super Saiyan 4 to the big screen. We're going to put it in Z. We're going to say Z is an alternate timeline, and we're going to take Super Saiyan 4 and move it up. We're going to evolve Super Saiyan 4. Like Super Saiyan 4, it's almost like when you level up, like when you master materia in Final Fantasy, or you get to a certain point, it jumps off to fire. Like fire goes up to a certain point, it goes to fire 2. But it's fire 2. It's stronger, but in terms of fire 2, its potential, it's weak where it's at. So you'll bring it up. So with Super Saiyan 3, you jump to 4. Now in Dragon Ball Super, Super Saiyan 4 would have moved up. And it would have become full power Super Saiyan 4. That's where I would have brought in red fur, moving out of, instead of being like a dark brown, like Super Saiyan 4, my version would have had all brown fur. All brown fur, hair, body, period. That's what would have happened for me. When he got full power Super Saiyan 4, it would have turned to red hair. Then I would have started, then from there, I would have took it there. It just makes sense. It makes sense. I don't understand. Even though I like what they're doing with Dragon Ball Super, I'm like, okay, that's dumb. This makes no fucking sense. Why is the hair jumping colors? Like, oh, it's blue. We're doing blue because red means power. It's irrelevant. You gave Super Saiyan 4 a red Kamehameha. Okay, I mean, that's not a good enough reason to make his hair red. You could have did something with it. I don't. It just seems lazy. It seems like fan service. I'm sorry. I'm like, all right, cool, I guess.
Well, the whole thing's fan service, right? I mean, it ended, and then they're like, "Oh man, all these fans want more, so we'll just make up some more stuff." And then, like, it's all for the money. And now, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. The older you get, the more ridiculous certain things in your youth seem, and just kind of the Super Saiyan God. Now instead of, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, and now Super Saiyan God, Super, and you're just like, okay, I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but it just kind of gets ridiculous, and it's just like, don't think about it, just watch.
And that's where I'm headed. I'm like, I don't understand. So you have Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, but then you have Ultra Instinct. Now, Ultra Instinct isn't even a form, it's a technique. It's like the Kaioken of the God Ki forms. But when you tap into it, he's stronger than the God form. I was like, wait a minute, it just means he has godlike instinct. I'm like, so would he get godlike instinct when he tapped into the God form, when he used God techniques? I don't know. And it's like, well, his hair's silver. I'm like, man, y'all are just trying too hard with this one. I'm like, bro, I was just like, I don't know.
Don't go too deep into the lore of it all.
I was like, you guys, I'll take that. When he got the silver hair, I was just like, all right, now you're trying too hard at this point. I don't know. Like at this point, I don't know. But and then we saw Dragon Ball Super Broly, and like Broly's like powered up form where he's like Uzaru. Oh, he's like Uzaru, but he didn't have to transform. He's still able to maintain his speed and still be super strong. I'm like, that's basically Super Saiyan 4. That's essentially being conscious in a Uzaru, a powered up Uzaru, and condensing it and using the willpower to condense yourself. I'm like, you guys, I was like, I don't know. Is that the Akira Toriyama?
Canon.
Say what?
I thought Super Saiyan 4 isn't canon.
It's not canon, but in the movie Broly, it's the way Broly fights when he first goes to that form. That's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
He's able to get the powers and abilities of Uzaru, but he does not have to transform it. So when he explained that, I'm like, okay, well, that's essentially Super Saiyan 4. It's just not as powerful. Like, I'm sorry. There's just so many things that don't make any sense. Like Broly can contend with Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue. He can hold his own against it. That's not supposed to happen. Like, no. I don't know. I don't know. It's fan service. I feel like fan service is really ruining the whole idea of imagination.